You are welcome to this class today. We are learning about change management, which is inevitable. We normally say that change is inevitable. So change simply refers to an alteration in the existing conditions of an organization. And we're saying that even in the most stable organizations, change is inevitable. There's always be some alterations that are required. And so, because of the economic and the social environment, we have to keep adapting to change because the environments under which we operate are also very dynamic. The political environment is very dynamic, economic environment very dynamic, social environment is very dynamic, and so on and so forth. So we have to adjust. We have to continue changing. We have to continue improving our ways of doing things, because if we don't do, then we'll be thrown out of business. So we are saying that because of the changes that are normally there in an organization, it is good for us to equip ourselves and the other employees with what we need to do when the change comes, so that we don't get to a point where we don't know what to do. So therefore, management must continuously monitor the outside environment and sufficiently innovate. So we are saying that we have to keep on checking what is happening in the outside environment, the political environment, the social economic environment. We have to continue knowing what is happening outside and even within the organization, because it is from there that we get a lot of changes. So we are saying that change comes from the external and comes from the internal source. Internal source could be things to do with the workers, things to do with the policies and procedures of the organization. And the external sources could be the political environment, the economic environment, the social environment, and so on and so forth. And so we need to understand. So just like I had mentioned, external forces that will cause change are many, but I've just given 4. One of them is the demographic characteristics. This could include people's education. They could include people's level or the skills they have. It would include issues to do with gender. It would include education, age, and all that. These can all be under demographic characteristics, and they contribute to the external forces. Number 2 is the technological advancement. Because our technology is moving very fast. So if you're static, if you want to do things in a particular way, the way you have been doing them 5 years ago, you'll be thrown out of business. So you have to continuously take what is happening. How are we, what are the new innovations as far as this product, as far as this service, as far as our way of doing things is concerned, so that we change. Then another one is market changes because of the economy. Because if the economy change, it affects everything we are doing, whether we're in a service industry, whether we are producing goods, whatever it is that we are doing. If we are in a profitable organization, we have to look at the market changes. And then lastly, the social and the political pressures. These ones are very, very common, because you'll find that people will change the way they have been shopping. They will change their perceptions about something keeps on changing. And so that will impact on the social environment. And if the social environment is impacted on, then your business must know how to cope. And the other one is the political pressures. The political pressures, what is happening politically, because that one can be an external force that will force you to change as you continue to work. Then the other one is the internal force, like I had mentioned. They come from inside the organization. And this could be in form of the working environment, the conflicts between the employees, the needs of the employees. They come and they affect how we do things, and therefore we must change. So there are many about how the working environment is. Then the managerial behavior. What is the relationship between the subordinates and the management? How are we dealing with things like conflicts that normally come? How do we introduce change? How do we handle our employees? So you will find that these are internal forces that can bring about change. So they could be human-related problems, or they could be the managerial behaviors. Then organizational sources of resistance when it comes to change. There are quite a number. I will not go through them. I'll just go through a few. And we're saying that one is overdetermination or a structural inertia, refers to the tendency of an organization's rules, policies, and structures to be able to maintain existing conditions and therefore resist change. So there is a tendency to maintain the rules, the procedures, the policies, how we have done things. And because of that urge to remain as such, then you will always find there's a lot of resistance. Then we're also saying that when an organization tries to change one of its division or part of the division without recognizing how this division is depending on another. It's like maybe you want to do some changes, let's say in the accounting department, but you don't know that the accounting department is so much linked to the procurement department, to the marketing department, and so on and so forth. So why you'll find resistance is because you're not embracing the change for the whole organization. You only want to do it in just one department, which can be very serious and can bring a lot of resistance. Number 3, group inertia may weaken an individual's attempt to bring about change. You remember that people really want to do things as a group. They want to move together as a group. And so if you're bringing any change, if you're trying to transfer somebody from one place to another, you'll encounter a lot of resistance. And you're also saying resistance may also take the form of threatened expertise if the change leads to weakened special expertise built after years of experience. And I understand this can be really threatening. When somebody has tried to build up a skill, and then all of a sudden you're coming to see that things will not be done that way, they'll be done another different way, you really weaken those people. And so you find a lot of resistance. Then any change that may alter the power relationships within an organization may meet the form of resistance known as threatened power. So if you're trying to bring in some changes, some hierarchical changes in terms of authority and all that, how will people going to interpret it? So again, that touches on people, and people are likely to really, really be against that. So when a change also touches on resource allocation, maybe you used to give every department a certain amount of money, but now you have realized because of this change, we are going to do things differently. That again is going to be resistant so much. Then individual sources of resistance of change are simple habits that somebody is used to be doing something in a particular way. And so now you're coming in to introduce a change, you will face a lot of resistance. Then uncertainty is also another big issue, and it's actually a source of resistance. Somebody doesn't know where this change is leading them to. So some people are anxious. Am I going to lose my job? People are nervous. What does this new job demand of me? Am I still secure? Will I still be able to perform? So that also brings in another source of resistance. Then some people resist change to avoid loss. Yes. Somebody is just thinking about, what if these changes comes and disrupts my work such that people feel that I am redundant, and so I lose my job. So there's that feeling of loss. There's that feeling of I'm threatened. People may not want me in this job. Then number 4 is perception of underlying circumstances. This how everybody will perceive resistance. They'll perceive change. Not everybody will see it in a positive way. So if somebody perceives something that is not favorable, then they're likely to fight back. So after saying all this, what are the ways that we can use to overcome our resistance to change? What can we be able to do as an organization? And these are just straightforward points, so I'm just going to read through them. Involve all affected by change right from the planning stage. Don't leave anybody behind. Don't introduce change at the middle. Introduce it from the beginning. Let everybody know what you're doing. Then communicate the relevance and the importance of change. That is very, very important. Communicate. Establish cordial relationship with staff. Ensure there's very good relationship between you and the staff so that they don't have to feel like there's somebody who is trying to do something behind their back. Prepare the recipients of change psychologically, and that's why we have said we need to communicate. Provide the required information and equipment. Very, very important. Provide the information. Provide the equipment. Then a gradual introduction to change rather than changing drastically. That can really, really, really affect people. Don't change drastically. Change gradually. Then psychologically prepare the employees. We had already talked about that. Involve them from the word go. Equip them with whatever you feel they need. Provide the tools and the equipment that they need to perform their job. Then accommodate employees' views on change. Listen to them. Get to know what are they feeling about the change. Get to understand what are their struggles and accommodate them in everything that you're doing. And then we are going to look a little bit about learning culture. And we're saying that a learning culture is a collection of organizational conventions, values, practices, and processes. These conventions encourage employees and organizations to develop knowledge and competence. Learning culture is very, very important for every organization. And you're going to see what are the advantages. And here you're saying you are coming up with some cultures, with some practices, with some processes that encourage employees to develop themselves, to become competent. You are happy when you hear somebody has gone back to school. You are happy when you hear somebody is pursuing a certain certification. You are happy when you hear somebody has gone to improve on their skills. And you're saying that an organization with a learning culture encourages continuous learning and believes that systems influence each other. So since constant learning elevates an individual as a worker and as a person, it also opens up opportunities for becoming better. So when you hear that somebody is going back to school, when you hear that somebody is learning something new, then you know that that organization has a learning culture. And it has got numerous benefits. Increased efficiency, productivity, increased employee satisfaction, decreased turnover, an improvement mindset among employees. Their mindset, is shaped as they continue to improve. This is where, if somebody just graduated their diploma, then they go back for a degree. They come back when they are, their mind has been shaped all over again. And then we are saying that the culture of learning encourages sharing, and it also encourages adaptability to change. When people learn, then you'll find that they are able to do their work with more ease because they have been able to open up. So how do you create a learning culture in an organization? You formalize training and development plans. As an organization, as a human resource officer, you formalize training and development. You let people know that there are opportunities for training and for development and that the organization encourages them. Then give recognition to learning. If somebody has gone to school and they have graduated, they have a new certificate, recognize it by promoting that person. Recognize it by congratulating that person. And then always look for feedback. look for feedback. And then promote from within. If you feel that somebody has the requisite qualifications for a certain job, kindly promote them so that you can encourage other people to see that going back to school or learning actually pays. Then develop knowledge and information sharing into a formal process. If somebody has gone back to school, they have learned a new skills, bring it in as a way of learning. Bring it in such a way that everybody knows that we are now learning from so and so who has been in school, who has learned a certain skill, and that way you're encouraging other people to know that they can also be able to do it. Then components to cultivating a learning culture. I'm also going to go fast through them because they are straightforward. Attract and develop agile learners, and we're saying that a learning culture that democratizes leadership development and values growth mindset will help you attract and retain a workforce, because you are helping people to become better. Then create an environment that supports psychological safety, so that when somebody goes to school, they feel they are safe. They feel whatever they have been doing is welcomed. They are not hiding. They are not feeling like, somebody's following them because of what they are doing. Then encourage better conversations and feedback throughout the organization. That is straightforward. And then making learning an explicit organizational priority. Let it be known everywhere that anybody who wants to go back to school can go back to school. Anybody who wants to learn more can do that. Make it clear, make it explicit. Share with them, talk about them. Encourage those who are already learning. Let them know that they are doing something good. So what are learning organizations? Learning organization can be defined as any organization that prioritizes personal and professional growth through knowledge transfer. So any organization that prioritizes personal and professional growth through transfer of knowledge, that is what we refer to as a learning organization. And we are saying it is a framework in which employees are not only allowed to continue expanding their knowledge and skills and opportunities, but they are encouraged to do so. So you're encouraging people to go back to school to get a certificate, go back to school to learn a new skill, go back to school, improve yourself. So learning organizations are those kind of organizations that will encourage, that will motivate. And some organization will even go to an extent of even paying for somebody's school fees. Promoting when somebody has gotten a new certificate. They will go to an extent of requesting you to share your knowledge and skills with the other people. They are learning from you. So that's a learning organization. So it prioritizes personal and professional growth through knowledge transfer. So 5 disciplines in learning organizations. 5 disciplines in learning organization. 1, they encourage personal mastery. They encourage personal mastery. This is where it's the development of the capacity to accomplish personal goals. You have your personal goals. You have your own vision, mission, goals, and objective. So it is your personal mastery. You want to feel that you have known something. You want to feel that you have achieved. You want to feel that you have moved. You want to feel that you're becoming a better person. And then number 2 is a shared vision. A shared vision is only possible in an environment of trust and collaboration instead of compliance to directives from on high. So you're trying to bring in the issue of where employees feel heard and they're encouraged to take risks. They are encouraged to work very hard. They are encouraged to try. They're encouraged to take something new. You have a shared vision. You're encouraging them in a particular direction. The number 3 is mentor models. And with mentor models, we are saying that we understand how our deeply ingrained assumptions and generalizations affect our interactions and decisions. So here we are trying to understand about what is how do you understand? How do you perceive something? How do you hear, act, do, listen to instructions? Those are the mental models. So we are trying to encourage people to listen better, to understand better, to take time, and to become better people. Another discipline is team learning. Team learning. So by here we bring in the whole organization and we're trying to work collaboratively, where you know something that I don't know, you share with me and you're able to learn. I know something that you don't know, we share together and you're able to learn. So team learning, we all move together, we work together, we are able to achieve so many things together. Then the last one is system thinking, is one of the discipline in learning. And here is where we understand that we are all part of this big system. That you depend on what I do and I depend on what you do. That without you, I cannot be able to achieve my goals. And without me, you can also not be able to achieve your goals. So we are working together. We are creating a system of interconnectedness. That you are there. I am waiting on what you are doing so that I can be able to move it to another level. Somebody else is waiting on what I'm doing so they are able to take it to the other level. And that is how interconnected we are. And thus we are able to move from one system to the other, becoming better people. So what are the benefits of learning organizations? And they are also straightforward and very simple, because one, we're saying we'll get high employees, happy employees, and if you have happy employees, then less turnover. Then another one is a sense of community. Everybody feels that they belong somewhere. Then we have issues of new ideas and new solutions through learning. We have improved innovation. We have knowledge sharing, because everybody knows something different. Everybody knows something that everybody else doesn't know. So we share our knowledge. Then we are able to solve our problems very, very well. We are strengthened as a community, and there is a greater efficiency. So even in the places that we work, it is good that we continue learning, improving ourselves. The technology is changing, the political environment is changing, the social economic environment is changing, and so we need to understand our customers better. And so we need also to change as they are changing. For us to be relevant in whatever we are producing, in whatever we are selling, in whatever business we are in, for us to be relevant, we have to embrace change. And when we embrace change, we become better. And we don't only embrace change, we embrace change and we also learn. Learn a better way of doing things, more efficiently, more effectively. Thank you so much for listening to this conversation. Have a lovely day or a lovely evening. Thank you so much.